Oh my God, this is the biggest twist.
This is great.
God.
I love this.
He
I
fooled
love
us
this
so
lawyer.
hard.
Yeah, he fooled us, and good twist.
Hey everyone, welcome back to ChaatNChat. My name is Josh.
My name is Miguel.
And we're watching JANA GANA. This is part 3, so if you haven't watched part 1 or part 2, I put the link to the playlist below this video in the description, and you can watch all those and then join us back here for the final part. And if you're interested, after the whole movie and we're done watching it, we give some thoughts, opinions, ratings, that sort of stuff. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, sharing, clicking the bell icon, and upvote the video by hitting the like button.
Institutional murder. ഒരു വിദ്യാർത്ഥിയെ അവളുടെ സ്വപ്നങ്ങളെ അവളുടെ വ്യക്തിത്വത്തെ എന്തിനാ അവളെ തന്നെ
Her family, her culture, everything was just...
This complaint filed by Vidya gets suspended with immediate effect and an inquiry commission gets set up on the death of all 52 students.
That's the least they can do.
This committee is totally democratic. So, തീരുമാനങ്ങൾ എടുക്കേണ്ടത് നിങ്ങൾ ഓരോരുത്തരുമാണ്.
And of course, no one's going to go against him because...
All agrees to the demand put forward by Professor
it
Sabha.
should be totally anonymous.
Well, because they're scared because they don't know of the 52 students who is their student and who might blame them.
Yeah. So,
right? Because she's confident she was a good teacher.
Yep.
But the
Yeah,
rest of
see.
them are too scared. They're like,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, as a leader, in situations like that, of where I would not want people to feel as though they're exposing themselves, it would have been totally anonymous.
പേര് കൂടി എഴുതി ചേർക്കാനുണ്ട്.
ഈ പരാതി എഴുതിയ സഭയ്ക്ക്
So she made an enemy of that officer.
ഒരാൾ പോലും പരാതിയായിട്ട് വരില്ല. Everything will be taken care of. That includes your promotion too.
Oh, it's a bribe.
yeah, the payoff.
You will get your prize for your silence.
Yep.
എന്താ സഭ?
You clearly don't know her very well, this guy. Oh. 9:50. It's getting close. Cut the gas line.
Someone cut the gas line. And then someone conveniently offers to give her... Look at that car hanging back there.
Yep.
Uh-huh. It was a setup. Did he hit her and run her over and kill her that way? I think that's what he does. He just runs her over. Because he's that type. Doesn't want to get his hands dirty.
Well, they should have
And see, they should have caught that.
in the autopsy.
Yes. Being run over by a car is very obvious. Lots of broken bones. Now, problem is he just ran her over.
തൊട്ടടുത്ത ദിവസത്തെ നാഷണൽ ഹെഡ്ലൈനായി മാറി ആക്കി മാറ്റി ആര്
Who made it that? Who made it into something it wasn't? So it was the combination of politics, the media, police.
ഏക സംസാര വിഷയം ഇത് മാത്രമാക്കി ആർക്ക് വേണ്ടി
It wasn't her that was burned.
എന്തിനു
No.
ആർക്ക് വേണ്ടി
Because they said they couldn't identify.
Right.
ഒരൊറ്റ ഉത്തരം
And so I would have imagined they had done DNA tests, but did they? No. If they assumed that it was who they thought it was, then guess what?
Sir, I think there is a problem. Central University le oru lady professor in the body.
This goes up so much higher. Was this whole thing schemed up here?
Could be.
ആ ബോഡി വെറുതെ നമ്പർ ഇട്ട് മോർച്ചറി വെച്ച് തണുപ്പിക്കണം. She's your headline. She's your trump card.
Oh wow! This just took
whole
such a demonic turn.
The whole thing was made up.
ആ ബോഡി ഡിസ്പാച്ച് ചെയ്യാനും ബാക്കി പ്രൊസീഡിങ്സിന് 4 പേര് വേണം. ലോക്കൽ ക്രൈം ലിസ്റ്റ് നിർത്തും. No negotiation.
Oh my God! They made him out to be this amazing stand-up guy that we all felt for. He was the mastermind behind the entire thing.
வேண்டாம், நானும் வரேன். நான் 5 பேர் தான் பண்ண போறோம்.
And that's why they were so cocky in front of them. Oh, and it was when the lawyer guy that was driving,
Yeah.
or whoever was at the cell with them, giving them.
ഹലോ சொல்லுங்க சார்
ആ കോളേജ് പിള്ളേരെ തല്ലി ഒതുക്കിയേക്ക്.
ஓகே சார் ஓகே
Again, it's all being orchestrated. Politics at play.
Yeah, this is so dirty. And then he comes in to look like the rational one to gain their trust.
He did it. Yep.
DIG-യുടെ കോളാണ്.
He did it. He leaked it all.
Of course, he knew he could do it within 30 days. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is the biggest twist.
This is great. I love this.
He
I
fooled
love
us
this
so
lawyer.
hard.
Yeah, he fooled us, and good twist.
The cop that he shot. Remember he shot one of them? Yup. Gotta leave it to him. That's the mustache of truth, man.
Mustache of truth. I like it. Well, there's mustache of dark.
ചോദിക്കില്ലടോ പക്ഷേ തനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി എന്നും ഈ ഞാനുണ്ടാകും ഈ പാർട്ടിയും
So if it wasn't for that, they could have actually probably gotten away with this whole scheme.
Maybe.
വലിയ ആയുധം അത് എന്നാണ് தெரியுமா உனக்கு വികാരം ജനങ്ങളുടെ വികാരം
Yeah, and how it gets manipulated. It is the madness. Oh, this plays into U.S. politics so well right now.
ഭക്തരാണ് നാം ആ
Oh,
വികാരം
God.
ആളി കത്തിക്കാൻ പോവുകയാണ് മറ്റെല്ലാം മറന്നു പോകുന്നു
How does somebody so mentally ill get so far and so close to
You
the...
gotta wonder what else he's done up to this point to get to where he is.
സാറാ സിഗരറ്റാ വെളിക്ക് വെളിക്ക് നമുക്ക് മാത്രം ഒന്നും തരല്ല.
Man, that explains so much why they were so cocky. Because they were like, oh, he's the one that asked us to do all this. He's gonna get us off. There's no way.
That's also why they got out of the car and they never really had to.
Got worried.
They got worried. They're like, he's taking us to a spot where he's just gonna tell us, you guys take off.
വണ്ടി ലെഫ്റ്റ് എടുത്ത് ബീഗിൾ ഓഫീസ്.
And when he turned off, he only had one officer with him. So his buddy came back.
No, there's two in the...
Oh,
there's two in the back.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it now. I see it. Okay. Because he had to be there. So there were 4 officers and 4 of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
സാർ என்ன சார் இங்க
Have a cigarette. You're gonna die. Because you're unfortunately expendable in this whole...
And all 4 of them, they're only guilty of like all the petty crimes that they did. But now all their families are facing the trauma of believing that their sons were rapists and...
Yeah.
The song from Bobby, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, execution style. Oh man, that is so dirty. He's like, you shot me!
True loyalty.
No, dude, that's gonna come to bite him.
yeah.
He's like, I'm loyal up to a point, man.
Exactly.
It's like, shoot one of the other dudes. I was actually your friend.
ഇതുപോലെ fair, ugly എന്ന് വേർതിരിച്ച് കാണിച്ച് ഒരു 6 വയസ്സുകാരന്റെ മനസ്സിൽ അവനെ പറഞ്ഞു പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്ന നിറത്തിന്റെ രാഷ്ട്രീയം.
Oh, wow, that is messed up. In like a 6-year-old's textbook?
പോലും അവരെ കണ്ടാൽ അറിയില്ലേ എന്ന് പറയിപ്പിച്ച പച്ചയായ ജാതിയുടെ രാഷ്ട്രീയം.
The politics of caste, oh wow.
അല്ല, ഇതെല്ലാം നടന്നത് ഇന്ത്യയിലാണ്. ഇന്ത്യയിൽ.
But nobody made them mass news because they were,
It wasn't politically beneficial to higher ups.
and they weren't of people of stature.
Right.
ആ അധികാരം വീണ്ടെടുക്കാൻ അവർ ഉപയോഗിച്ച വെറും ഉപകരണങ്ങളാണ് ആ 4 പേർ. ആ 4 പേരെ തെരഞ്ഞെടുക്കാൻ, ആ 4 പേരെ പർച്ചേസ്.
That cop is just like, man, he knows everything. Oh. When you get the transcriber to stop mid-sentence, like, that was heavy.
Yeah, very.
എല്ലാം ധൈര്യത്തോടെ നേരിടണം. മകനൊന്നും സംഭവിക്കില്ല. You take care. Okay?
Shaded threat right there. My God. If that wasn't...
So now
because he's not to disclose any of this, that's what he's saying.
yeah, so I knew that as soon as he said that, and when we were talking about it, you gotta know his history is littered with all sorts of stuff.
മനസ്സിൽ തങ്ങി നിൽക്കുന്ന ചില മുഖങ്ങളുണ്ട്.
Come on, like you were to blame to, oh my God. It's because of the people, what the lawyer was saying. They're all taking the wrong message from what the lawyer was saying.
വിഷമിക്കരുത്. മോൻ ചെയ്തതിനുള്ളതൊക്കെ മോന് ദൈവം തിരിച്ചു തരും.
Oh, that means so much more now.
Yeah, sure does. He knew that.
Orchestrated by him from start to finish. I mean, yeah, the upper...
സത്യം തേടിയുള്ള ഒരു യാത്ര. ആ യാത്രയിൽ മറ്റൊരുപാട് സത്യങ്ങൾ.
Do you think he put the case together for the lawyer?
Maybe.
To set himself up? Like, he
seemed pretty...
ഒരു ലേഡി പ്രൊഫസറിന്റെ ബോഡി സിറ്റി ഔട്ട്സ്കർട്ട്സിൽ ഹൈവേയിൽ കണ്ടെത്തിയിരിക്കുന്നു.
even keeled about the whole thing. Like, he wasn't surprised.
Yeah, he seemed to be.
Oh, in the background, he was doing an investigation this whole time too.
ഒരു രാത്രിയെങ്കിലും സമാധാനമായിട്ടൊന്ന് ഉറങ്ങും.
Wow, I mean, it doesn't redeem him for what he did, like, by any means, but another guy would just go down being like, if I'm going down, whatever, I'm not going to think twice about it.
You are a gold medalist in law from Delhi University. Then why civil service?
Oh, Deputy Commissioner?
What?
Sometimes the law will have to be enforced.
Wait, oh my God. Oh, he's like...
I knew him.
Yeah.
Aravind, we'll fight, okay? Aravind.
So what did they accuse him of though? Like, I'm confused. Like, did they just pin fake charges on him?
സാറിനെ തോൽപ്പിച്ച നിയമം കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ സാർ പകരം ചോദിക്കണം.
So he was still in jail and he gave him the folder. What's nomination day?
When they're nominated.
Oh.
Maybe like when they appoint the, you know, the power in the, I don't know what they call their government. When they make the government, you know how the UK does that?
Sir, 3 வாட்டி கூப்பிட்டுட்டாங்க. ஏதோ சீரியஸ் மேட்டர்.
You might want to take that call. Does he realize that he was a pawn and he was being used?
ഗാലറിയിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കമന്റ് പറയാൻ ആർക്കും കഴിയും. ഗ്രൗണ്ടിൽ ഇറങ്ങി കളിക്കാനുള്ള ധൈര്യമുണ്ടോ?
Dang, they didn't waste any time. Whoa. Okay, so he was creating some powerful enemies.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. And there's the hand.
Yeah. Oh, but you reap what you sow.
Yeah, but that's why when he got out of prison, like he was limping and family died and all of that. Yeah. He really took him down.
Yeah, someone killed her.
Oh, their party is falling apart. So is he gonna turn vigilante now? What he was going against? Do they nominate her? Or maybe his answer was to give power to opposition.
Maybe. I mean, in a lot of ways, you saw all that stuff in the background that he had, all the inner stuff. There could be another one. The takedown of the power of him.
You mean like a sequel?
A sequel.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about a sequel. I mean, this was 2022, so maybe.
Usually about every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, but there'd be like
at least some talk.
Some talk about like whether they're filming it
we
or
should
at
ask
least
some of
planning
them.
it.
We should ask them in the comments.
Wow, that was just, that end was kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
There was so much revealed there at the end that it was like kind of a little difficult keeping up with everything because there was all these players and it was like one twist after another. It was like, wait, you thought that was a twist? Well, here's another twist that twisted the twist into a twist into a twist.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
yeah.
Okay.
So there were a couple of things that I was thinking is, all right, if he presented all that evidence, how did that one upper guy, the really bad political dude, not even come into a whole investigation of him? How did that not even happen?
well, there could be something that he's protected, or courts could drag their feet,
Well-
or maybe that's what he was threatening. Is he's like, hey, if you think this is the end, I'm right behind you because I'm building
what
my
I'm
case.
saying, yeah,
because he had all the papers and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So maybe he meant by that he's building his case against
And
him.
I still don't understand the guy with the gun.
Yeah, I think it's because he symbolized all the pawns that the political party uses because they corrupted him to go into
Yes, but they gave him a gun.
Yeah.
And that's usually, we're asking you to do something, i.e. take someone out.
Yeah.
So he never shot it.
No, because he was going, I think it never got to that point in the plan because I think he was supposed to just create more chaos. The whole thing of giving him a gun was to create chaos. And I think the gun was more symbolic that you have the gun to feel this fake thing of power, because guns make people feel so powerful.
Right.
And you give someone a gun and it makes them feel like, oh wow, I'm super powerful. I think you're reading maybe too much into that, whereas you can just see him as the pawn that a political party tries to use to sow chaos. And in the end, he was thinking for himself and saw it, which then he turned against that party that he was being like a spy, infiltrator for. So it didn't work with him. But it doesn't mean that it wouldn't work with somebody else and they would use the gun and all that sort of stuff. This was taking on a lot of issues. One of the biggest things that I think the filmmakers tried, but I don't think it necessarily worked with you and me, is that they tried to show these 4 guys super guilty that they wanted the audience to also condemn them. Because I think what the filmmakers were trying to do in the courtroom is have that lawyer, Prithviraj's character, school us, right? Maybe tell us that, hey, remember when you wanted these 4 guys to die? You were wrong, and here's the reason you were wrong, because they were just pawns. They didn't actually do it, and here's the real people that did it. I could see how people could also be with the people and be like, yeah, get him, like full vigilante,
yeah.
like kill him, you know? Like these guys were nasty because they made those 4 guys super nasty. Like you and I, we both watched them and we were like, oh God, the way he's acting is horrible.
Not the best people on the block to hang out
Yeah,
with.
but as soon as he started killing them, it was a huge shock to us. But again, I think you and I both know, maybe because we are so into law and all that and crime dramas and that sort of stuff, we're like, wait, where's due process?
Exactly.
They didn't even show up to court. You can't just do it like this is going to be blowback. But then when the people didn't, then it's like, what are you guys talking about? Look, I wanted them to be guilty as much as the next person.
Be held accountable.
But yeah, be held accountable. But you need to take them to court.
Right, and make sure, beyond a shadow of doubt, that they've done it. You know, they appropriately get there to be able to tell their side of the story, and also say, by the way, there's a 5th guy that you guys need to know about, and he's actually the goon for this guy, who's actually in the pocket of this guy, who's actually on the back end. So then all of that, it's just. But again.
And it turns out that it wasn't even that way that she got murdered in the first place. And now that we know that it went so far up the chain, autopsy was totally fabricated. Like a complete lie. They didn't even do like a full thing. And then the whole thing where they're like, oh yeah, I can't even identify the body. And yet they still had the mother and daughter.
Remember I said, how is it that this one guy who's right there says we can't even identify who the gender is, and that other guy is like, oh, this is
because they knew
at
that time, because he knew exactly who she was, and then she's like, yeah, it's a female. Yeah, there's the first responders to the scene are like, I can't identify the body, but he knew because he helped set it up. But also they called the mother in because they wanted this to turn to a whole thing.
Yes.
So I mean, we were confused by that because we're like, what?
Whoa.
But it turns out
I'm like, they don't normally bring the family there,
but they wanted to dramatize it.
Yeah. So see, we were already kind of. This is going really weird.
Yeah. Okay. So how many pani puri out of 10 would you rate it?
I really liked the acting was incredible.
Very good.
The story really, really good. I love all of the social buttons that it's pushing, so to speak.
Didn't hold back.
I mean, there was just a boatload of them that it was pushing on. So I'm going to give this a 9.
9?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great acting, great storytelling, great suspense, and great twist upon twist upon twist.
Yeah.
I think I might have to watch that ending again and take notes to like really dissect everything going on. Because it was like, wait, okay, I'm following this and I'm following that, but then what did they pin on him? And all that sort of stuff. And then it's like, wait, so you were a high commissioner and like a police commissioner?
Yeah,
and
because
then you
we want
like
more of the story there.
Yeah,
That's
then you
why
turn.
I think there's a sequel coming. I
well,
think there's a sequel coming.
I think they did tell a very good story here. I'm also going to give it a 9. I think that they wrapped it up enough for me. If they did make a sequel, I would watch it.
Yeah.
But I think they wrapped it up enough because we know the type of person he is and how he does his research, and now that there's more of a movement building, I think that's what this movie was also doing, is trying to build that movement of people understanding like that media and this whole craze of guilty before being guilty, right? I mean, that's what they always do when they're talking, even when they take out like a shooter or something like that, they say the alleged, even though there's thousands of eyewitnesses, they cannot on the news say that the murderer or something like that. They say the alleged because until you go to court, person of interest,
all that sort of stuff.
until you go to court.
Right.
I like that aspect of it because I think so many people start forgetting all of that.
Right.
And the people, my gosh, they were just like being pulled this way, pulled that way, like almost, we always talk about them like herding sheep.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yes.
and then the sheep are going to follow wherever this is and be led so easily and mindless and all that sort of stuff.
Well, because I think the one element that we heard was emotions. Emotions. If you can drive people's emotions, you can control them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what that nasty
the nasty
politician
the
guy
nasty
said.
You know,
Uses
and this
emotions.
whole thing, it popped into my mind as we are so wanting to blame someone and pin it on someone and get someone that's guilty and be the scapegoat in a lot of times. And you see this in all sorts of things. There's an airplane crash and right away people just go crazy and they're trying to find anyone to basically say, you were the reason the plane fell. out of the sky or whatever. If you think about it, and you watch that, and it's like they have to do a whole investigation to figure out what actually happened. And at the end of the day, a lot of times they find out that it was some mechanical failure that no one has.
But there's still responsibility.
But
for that.
yes, and so they want immediately. They just want to pin it on the airline, and the airline's like, well, yes, but come to find out, it was a mechanic that did some work on some other piece or something like that. Just weird stuff like that. But again, everybody is always looking to pin it on someone else. And in particular, if they don't want to take responsibility for their own actions, that becomes
you should pin it on somebody, though. There is a responsible party, and when something like this happens, a murder and that sort of stuff, you do need to pin it on somebody.
Yes,
but take proper process and do your investigation correctly. Now, obviously, we didn't know this, but it was
a total setup.
A setup from the very beginning. And you and I were like, yeah, I like this guy. He's got it. He's got it.
They caught us on that. They did. They really sucked us in on that.
But anyway, guys, thank you for the recommendation. This was really good. Again, Prithviraj is just blowing up the screen with his performance. I loved it.
I want him to represent
His voice is so commanding. Yeah. Like he just like gets your attention, and it's like this kind of like deep kind of like
he does it so with feeling and intensity and just that timing to really make it, it's literally, you feel as though he's punching into you when you have your mind's just, wait a second, that's not exactly the way I believe. No, wait a second, it is the way I believe. Oh no.
But I did have a problem with the judge, though. Yeah. Because the judge should be a little smart. Now, I don't know. I'm sure if I listen to judges and stuff, but judges should know laws inside and out to become a judge. Now, if that's the case, I have no idea. And it's not commentary on this movie in particular, because who knows, there's probably judges out there that are like this. So I'm not saying it's bad on the movie for doing this, but that character in particular was ridiculous, because he wasn't understanding where things were going with the media. Like, even the judge himself was convicting people before they even show up in court.
But that was...
And for a judge, I know it was a whole part of the story and to follow media and that sort of stuff, but for a judge to do that and not know the law, because the judge, like, if anybody should know that nobody is guilty of anything until they appear in front of court of law and be convicted. If anyone should know that, it should be the judge. And the fact that the judge was such a fool for falling into this trap, that was like kind of cringe. I think it's also saying something for judges and saying, like, look, even up in the court, people are believing this. So my criticism there wasn't about the writing, it was just about the character, and that these people could exist. And that is super frustrating that even a judge could act like that. So, but you guys let us know, how many would you rate it out of 10? And
you think there's a sequel coming?
Is there a sequel?
Maybe.
Does it need a sequel? Do you guys think it needs a sequel? I don't. He does.
I think I would watch another sequel.
I'd watch it, but I don't know if it needs
I think that there could be a whole story on his, and then bring it full circle, coming around, tell his story of what happened and how he got convicted, and then how he came out of it, and how then he's going to go after this guy who's really a bad meanie. And I'm sure there's a whole cadre of other people he'd take down in that process.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm going to write it. I'm going to do the screenplay.
You go for it and then sell that to him. But thank you guys so much for watching with us. Thank you for the recommendation. Keep them coming. And, thank you to the Malayalam industry for giving us this gem, because it was a really good story. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, sharing, and upvote the video by hitting the like button.